We've been doing the World Entrepreneur of the Year process for about 30 years, but we've only had global winners for about 15. And we thought it was incredibly important to celebrate these great job creators, these people who create innovation, create opportunity, and create more jobs than, frankly, even the largest businesses. And to give them the ecosystem and network where they could come together from around the world, share best practices, meet with large companies. So we have all these entrepreneurs, and we have Howard Schultz coming from Starbucks, we have Muhtar Kent from Coca-Cola, and we can go down the list. We have Martin Sorrell from WPP coming to share information and getting those big businesses, the entrepreneurs, and governments together to think about what we can do to help foster the entrepreneurial spirit. If you look back over the last 3 years, the people that we have here, representing 65 people, representing these 53 countries, representing about 38 billion in revenue, they had 48% job growth over the last 3 years when job growth was very minimal. They have also increased their revenue almost 50%. And so these are growing companies that foster great innovations to help society. They also give back tremendously to their communities, which is very important, but they help world growth. They also are major suppliers, of course, to the largest companies. So they're part of the supply chain and ecosystem of overall growth. So we need to make sure that they have the tools and the opportunities to be able to continue to thrive. So the 2015 winners, it's interesting because it's across a whole variety of industries. We have finance companies, technology companies, manufacturing, increasingly life science companies, healthcare companies, all different walks of life, all very different, coming from different parts of the world, yet all very similar in terms of what they're trying to achieve. What the judges are really looking for is their contribution to the business world, the growth and success of their company, and their social benefit that they're trying to provide. And so they look at not just what they do, but they look at how they do it. So obviously we have around the world an issue where there's slow job growth. So when you think about where jobs are going to come from, you think of a couple different things. So first of all, you have entrepreneurs who are a big portion of the job growth across the world. Then you have the massive youth unemployment issue. You know, across Europe still you have a 50% youth unemployment rate, way too high. It's a social and economic cost. And then you have women, frankly, getting more women into the workforce, empowering them to come in and be participants. That will all create jobs. So what we did is we surveyed youth, we surveyed entrepreneurs and say, well, how are you feeling? What do you think? What do you need to enter the workforce and continue to thrive? And what they said consistently is we need a good source of funding. We need to have an ecosystem made up of big business, entrepreneurs, and government all working together. And we need to have an environment where we can learn and share best practices and get the skills. We have the ideas. Entrepreneurs have great ideas and great optimism, but sometimes they need help in learning how to scale. It's interesting when you look at youth and we ask them what percentage of you are going to look at entrepreneurship as a way to have your first job or so. 65% said they'd like to be entrepreneurs. That's a large number of young people who say they want to be entrepreneurs. It's first of all a sign of the millennials and how they think differently, but it also maybe is an indication of the difficulty of the big markets and how to break into the job world. But these people who now are going to become entrepreneurs have a great opportunity to work there, and they're excited about it. In fact, many of them, some 70–80%, think they want to be entrepreneurs within the first year. Others want to go out and get big experiences working with other entrepreneurs or in big businesses, and will come back to be entrepreneurs in the future.
This is truly the Olympics of entrepreneurship. This year we have 65 entrepreneurs from more than 53 countries, and they're truly remarkable. The Entrepreneur of the Year winners here as a group have combined revenue of $38 billion. In the last 3 years, in an uneven global economy, they've grown revenue 42% in the past 3 years, while increasing employment by 48%. Truly a remarkable group. Here at the World Entrepreneur of the Year, we're proud that we have 6 women amongst our 65 contestants. However, it's still not enough. So to find women to become successful and celebrate them in our program, we've launched a program called EY Entrepreneurial Winning Women. And what we aim to do is find women entrepreneurs who want to scale their business and then help them do that. And Obviously, this leadership development program needs 3 important things to help them succeed: access to capital, access to networks, and access to resources. And so we are trying to build this in order to help them succeed. We went out and surveyed approximately 3,000 youth, and we asked them what their aspirations were. Well, it was phenomenal. Over 60% of them themselves want to become entrepreneurs and learn from entrepreneurs, and they've taken tangible steps to do that. And so, of course, we're still perplexed by this dilemma of jobs available and yet employees available, and there isn't a match. Well, entrepreneurs themselves truly want to mentor young people. 35% of them, which is quite large in a business community, want to mentor entrepreneurs, and they do. 75% of them say they think they're doing all the right things for young people. However, when we ask the young people, of course, 36% of them will say it's not enough, we want more mentorship. So it's quite interesting in that we have a group who believes they are and willing to mentor, and a group who wants to be mentored and doesn't feel they are. But there's an enormous opportunity here. We can ask ourselves, what can we do to bring entrepreneurs and young people together? How can we help them live their aspirations, to create their own job, or even create an entrepreneurial mindset, even if they do not choose to chart their own path and start their own company? And what can all of us do, governments, corporates, and entrepreneurs, to solve the youth unemployment problem?
Allow students to experiment and then to do these ventures, but also as a society to have a safety net in place so that if you fail at something, it doesn't mean the end of your career. And so it's getting that mentality. I think education plays a huge role in this, but I also think that governments have a function to play.
If we all do what we can, if we all do something, if we all recognize the commercial imperative and take a step towards adding more young people into our organizations, that will make a difference. We don't have to solve it individually. We can actually solve it collectively.
I'm a firm believer in doing more of what works. I encourage you to look for junior achievement wherever you are.
I didn't really have one. I was essentially, my audience was my mentor and the internet. The biggest thing for me was just having someone that I could just ask how to do things, when to do things, and if it was the right thing to do in the first place.
The importance of people managers that we emphasize is that they create environments where their people can be successful.
So business alone cannot make it happen. We need the education system, we need regulators, governments on board, we need to involve the youth, and it's clear that in a partnership we can achieve more.
Employing people who you're not going to keep, it's like internships. You're giving them an opportunity to develop a skill or 2 or 3 skills. That's currency. That's something that they can take away into the next situation, whatever that situation is. I love this idea of being creative and innovative in whatever way you can imagine to provide experiences.
Scale junior achievement, it works.
Unlike past years where we had to make huge investments, we could use this as an advantage and enable more youth in this. And so I think education and academics play a key role in enabling that generation.
Our friends in the program, people come year after year to be here.
And exports its goods to more than 100 countries.
Increasing turnover by more than 200 times over the past 10 years.
Over 40 million people around the world have downloaded Nanobits games.